And we're joined by none other than businesswoman and former head of the Tobago arm of the TNT Chamber of Commerce, Miss Diane Hadad. A pleasant good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, on viewership, on listenership.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you're moving there. We getting a sort of a settling.
I am not sure if this is the right phone you're calling me on there, but anyway, if it's not going good, I'll give you the other number to call. Go ahead.
All right, good to hear your voice. Recently, the Chief Secretary launched the Tobago People's Party, the TPP, where he called on the Prime Minister to call the general elections now. He also pledged to Tobagonians, a better standard of living, advancements in education, innovation, tourism, and other sectors. What say you?
Okay, so you stumped me there with that question. The Chief Secretary called on the Prime Minister to call the election now. Maybe he should. I'm not sure based on what the Chief Secretary is going to be campaigning in terms of his achievements for tourism, education, and development, as you said, because December will be 2 years in office, and nearly 2 years later, we have not seen anything other than chaos, confusion, conflict. And there's been no settling down to the business of the people of Tobago, the environment, the economics, and the persons having any sort of change of their level of lifestyle and their education, etc., etc. So I'm not sure what the Chief Secretary means by that, other than there seems to be this warish mentality in approaching the movement for Tobago. So I'm not sure what that's
Yeah, and Ms. Hadad, that seems...
Only today, someone was speaking to me about that, and they said while they were away on holiday, they actually read the articles that spoke about who will be the next kingmaker and all of that. And I'm not sure how much of the history the Chief Sec has studied recently, if he did or did not, in terms of where all the kings are today. We have a lot of kings that were beheaded and are not relevant. So we need to be careful what it is we are winding our way to.
Yeah, but you know, Ms. Hadad, that seems to be an issue. I mean, every time we link with someone from Tobago, as far as what is the policy of the THA, what is it that they actually want to make changes with? I mean, so many people are saying to this day, they have never sat with the major stakeholders and said, listen, this is our plan for tourism. This is our plan for healthcare. This is our plan on the island for education. It seems to be the best kept secret, or simply something that is being dealt with behind closed doors. One would think by now there would be a crystal clear layout, comprehensive plan, exactly where the Chief Secretary and his team wants to take Tobago.
Well, as I would go back and say that February, when they had gotten into office in December, from February I would have started to see the signs that indicated we were heading nowhere, and by March I was sure. And I started to speak about it. Of course, you know, I would have been bashed by some. Then people started to say give them a chance, but I don't know that Tobago was in a position to be able to give chances. So that was one. Two, disappointingly, it has not brought any positive results, and you just spoke about it. There's been no consultation, no engagement, no sort of communication in terms of what the plan is. We can't see a plan as yet. We can't hear a plan as yet. So I don't know that it's the best kept secret. I wonder if it has a plan, or whether the strategy, because I keep speaking of political strategy, which I have realized I've learned over the years. It is to create the chaos, do what they're doing while they are benefiting in the background for themselves. And so the people are in confusion, the people are lost, but they are preparing their own feast for their tables. So I am very skeptical about what's going on. I have very little trust in anybody and what they say they are going to do from a platform. And if I may say so, I am certain that the majority of this country is in the same position.
And I want to agree with you at a point there that you're making. As far as there seems to be a lack of new dynamics, there seems to be a lack of new conversation, expanding on things that one would look at that are happening globally. That we would start to look at these things and see how best they're going to be implemented, what is going to be the plan, who are the best people that are suited to do this. None of these things seem to be platform talk when coming from certain parties. And it makes you wonder, what can one expect as a citizen?
Well, I think the local government elections, Mikey, would have indicated the level of fed up, the level of hesitance, the level of mistrust. People just throw their hands up in the air. I'll just live and get by and pray that God will make the change magically. But that to me is sad because people have to recognize that they are the change. They have a responsibility to actually indicate what they want and what they don't want. And that going into reservation mode or, don't care mode or whatever it is, hoping for magic mode, does not do well for the rest of us because that percentage of persons coming out to vote doesn't say very much. It means people do not want, and I've been saying this for a while, on the ground what you hear is we want neither. We don't want it because nothing is coming out that shows that people have been keeping their promises. And listen, it's the same thing. What happened at the local government election? I mean, please, at this stage of our lives, we are seeing roads being paved just before an election. Serious?
Yeah, but you, of course, I mean, in your capacity, your former capacity of a head of the Tobago arm of the TNT Chamber of Commerce, you understand the importance of a thriving economy, an economy that is moving, not one that is stagnant. Now you have the Commissioner of Police saying that if you're going to the bank to make large transactions, you may have to get your own personal security. Now, the reality of it is that when you look at this profit pie, and some people believe that once you have a business, you're making the world of money. But when you look at the fact that you have to pay corporate taxes, you have to pay VAT, according to your work staff, you have to pay NIS, you have to pay labor, you have to pay green fund levy, you have to pay so many different things. And then on top of that, now you're going to be saddled with making some of these personal expenses when in fact, those who should be doing their job has fallen flat on the job. I mean, where do we go from here?
Okay, so that's now where I come into personal responsibility. And why I say that point is so clear, in that people have come to a place where they do not recognize their role. So people come for a job, they do not come to work. So they want a job which pays them money, but they really don't want to do any work. So our productivity in the country is very low, and therefore nobody takes pride in what they do. Everybody just wants to loaf and live off the fat of the pig. The problem is the pig and all has run out of fat. And I do not understand when statements are made like that about go get extra security. I wonder if we realize that security are one of the lowest paid jobs. The people that actually do security in most instances, I'm not sure that their exam certificates are super looking. And so I have a thinking, I can't understand me working, managing a place, having the money, going to bank it, but I'm now giving it to somebody who is very much disturbed by money in a big way, in many ways, and then I'm giving it to them to take to the bank for me because I am afraid to carry to the bank. That to me is crazy, right? So I've done all this work and thinking and risk to get it, and then when it's time to put it in the bank to pay my bills, I'm now handing it over to somebody else who has played no part in the entire process. That for me speaks to how low we have gotten in terms of a country, in terms of delivery of our roles and jobs. Because what it says is the police have given up. The police are either saying we gave up, we don't know what to do, we are a part of the problem or we are participating in the problem, or we don't care. Police send police help, which means we don't need a police force. So all of those messages to me need to be addressed, right?
Yeah.
But we're not hearing anything. We are not hearing anybody coming out and speaking about the level of service being delivered at every level in this country, right? So,
So does that give the impression as if you're on your own? Who can survive, and who can stay above water? Well, forget it.
well, I want to say that I think that's the message or the memo that has been sent out from different corners, right? Because everybody might be participating in this. Let me just get by and forget it. I remember a guy meeting me the other day at a function, and this was so disturbing for me because he was actually an employee of a ministry. And he said to me, Ms. Hadad, why you be roughing up yourself and taking all of that blows? You know the system that it will take to get what you need. And people will give you what you need if you just do what you have to do. Why did you ruffling your feathers for? Just do it. And I was like, oh my God, this is a young person in a career position. And look how he has just thrown caution to the wind. This is what it is. Why fight? So if the generations coming up have now accepted that that's the formula, well, that gets even more frightening for us as we grow older.
Yeah, I want to stick a pin right there. I want to thank you so much for taking time out to link with us this evening. Very insightful. We will speak again because there's a lot of things that we need to discuss and where are we going as a country. Really appreciate it, Ms. Hadad. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Good night.
Good night. Let me